There's something about a Rottweiler that can change the feeling of a room. A stranger walks through the door, and there he is. Broad chest, powerful body, dark eyes quietly watching. He doesn't have to bark. He doesn't have to growl. Sometimes his presence alone is enough to make someone hesitate. And that's where the Rottweiler's reputation often begins. Some people see a dangerous dog. Others see one of the most loyal companions they've ever known. So which one is the real Rottweiler? The answer is more complicated than either side likes to admit, because pretending every Rottweiler is dangerous would be unfair. But pretending their strength and protective tendencies don't matter would be irresponsible. To understand this dog, you have to understand what humans originally asked them to be. And once you do, their behavior starts making much more sense. So why do Rottweilers seem so naturally powerful and watchful? Long before they were standing beside family sofas, Rottweilers developed from working dogs with a history connected to driving and guarding livestock. Their ancestors are associated with the drover dogs that accompanied Roman armies, and the breed later became closely associated with the German town of Rottweil. These weren't dogs developed simply to look impressive. They worked, they helped move livestock, they guarded valuable animals and property, and they needed enough confidence to do those jobs without constantly waiting for someone to reassure them. That working history still matters when we look at the modern Rottweiler. The breed is known for strength, confidence, intelligence, and a natural tendency to be watchful and protective. But here's where people sometimes misunderstand what confidence looks like in a dog. Imagine bringing a visitor into your home. Some dogs may immediately rush over as though they've just met their new best friend. A Rottweiler may do something completely different. He may stay nearby, watch, and take a moment to decide what he thinks about this person. That doesn't automatically mean aggression. Being reserved with strangers can be part of the breed's characteristic temperament. The Rottweiler breed standard describes the ideal temperament as calm, confident, courageous, and possessing a self-assured aloofness rather than seeking immediate friendship with everyone. And that distinction matters, because a confident dog doesn't need to threaten everything it sees. But a confident, powerful dog also needs an owner who understands what they're handling. How powerful are we talking? An adult Rottweiler is a substantial animal. According to the American Kennel Club, males typically stand about 24 to 27 inches at the shoulder, with females around 22 to 25 inches, and the breed can weigh roughly 80 to 135 pounds. That means behaviors that might seem merely annoying in a tiny dog can become serious management problems in a dog this strong. Pulling toward something on a walk, jumping on a visitor, ignoring a recall, guarding something they value. These aren't behaviors you want to discover you can't control once your puppy has grown into a muscular adult. Which brings us to one of the biggest truths about Rottweilers. Training isn't an optional extra. It's part of responsible ownership. And it needs to begin early. Rottweilers are intelligent and can be highly trainable. But intelligence doesn't mean a dog automatically knows how humans expect them to behave. They still need to learn how to walk calmly, how to greet people appropriately, how to settle, how to respond when called, how to handle unfamiliar situations, and, importantly, how to live confidently in a world full of people, dogs, sounds, places, and experiences. Early socialization is particularly important with this breed. Breed guidance emphasizes exposing Rottweilers appropriately to people and everyday environments while they're young, along with consistent training as they mature. But socialization is often misunderstood. It doesn't mean forcing your puppy to greet every person they see, and it doesn't mean trying to turn a naturally reserved dog into a dog that loves absolutely everyone. The goal is much more useful than that. You want your dog to learn this is normal. A bicycle passing by, normal. Someone wearing a hat, normal. Visitors entering the house, normal. Another dog walking across the street, normal. The world becomes less confusing when a puppy has learned how to experience it appropriately. And with a dog that may grow into an extremely powerful adult, that foundation matters enormously. But what happens when the Rottweiler goes home? This is the side of the breed strangers often never see. That serious-looking dog standing quietly at the window may behave completely differently around the people he knows. Rottweilers can be affectionate, playful, and deeply involved with their families. Breed descriptions even note the contrast between their reserved demeanor toward outsiders and the playful behavior they can show around loved ones. You might imagine a permanently serious guard dog patrolling the house. Meanwhile, someone who actually lives with one may have a completely different picture. A huge dog following them from room to room. A Rottweiler trying to participate in whatever the family is doing. A powerful working dog suddenly behaving like a clown around the people he trusts. That contrast is part of what makes the breed so interesting. But affection doesn't erase responsibility. And this is where conversations about Rottweilers sometimes go wrong. One person says they're dangerous. Another responds, no, they're perfect family dogs. It's only about how you raise them. Neither statement tells the whole story. Breed can influence behavioral tendencies, but it doesn't manufacture identical personalities. Individual dogs differ, genetics matter, early experiences matter, training matters, socialization matters, environment matters, management matters, and the individual dog in front of you matters. So responsible ownership means respecting both the individual and the characteristics humans spent generations developing in the breed. A Rottweiler's protective instincts shouldn't be treated like a cool accessory. You don't need to encourage your dog to distrust strangers just because you want a guardian. You want a dog capable of moving through everyday life calmly and under control. That requires something less dramatic than trying to make your dog look tough. Consistency, clear expectations, appropriate socialization, reward-based training, mental stimulation, exercise, and lots of ordinary practice. Because the impressive part isn't having a dog that can intimidate someone. The impressive part is having a powerful dog who can remain composed when nothing is actually wrong. And Rottweilers need something else people sometimes underestimate. Something to do. Remember, this is a working breed. They aren't decorations for the backyard. Rottweilers are intelligent, athletic dogs that benefit from regular physical activity and mental engagement. Walking, training, obedience work, tracking, and other appropriate dog activities can give that working brain somewhere productive to go. And training itself can become part of the relationship. Your dog learns to pay attention to you. You learn to read your dog. Communication becomes clearer. Expectations become predictable. And that's especially valuable with a dog whose size means misunderstandings can have bigger consequences. So is a Rottweiler right for everyone? No. And saying that isn't an insult to the breed. It's actually respecting it. Someone may fall in love with the black and rust coat, but the broad head, the confidence, the loyalty, and that unmistakable Rottweiler presence. But then comes the less glamorous question. Can you provide what this dog actually needs? Can you commit to training before problems appear? Can you consistently manage a large, exceptionally strong dog? Can you provide appropriate exercise and mental stimulation? Can you spend the time socializing a puppy thoughtfully? Can you continue training when that adorable puppy becomes a powerful adult? And are you choosing the breed because you genuinely understand it, or simply because you like the way it looks? Those questions matter far more than whether someone thinks Rottweilers are good dogs or bad dogs, because breeds aren't moral categories. They're populations of dogs with histories, physical characteristics, and behavioral tendencies. And then each individual dog brings its own personality and experiences. So, what is the truth about the Rottweiler? The intimidating appearance is real. The physical power is real. The protective heritage is real. And responsible ownership of that power absolutely matters. But the stereotype of a permanently angry dog waiting for an excuse to attack doesn't describe what a well-bred, appropriately raised Rottweiler is supposed to be. The breed standard describes something much more controlled, calm, confident, courageous, watchful, and capable of working closely with people. That's the part a photograph can't show you. You see the muscles, you see the enormous head, you see the black coat and rust markings, and your brain may immediately write the rest of the story. But spend enough time understanding dogs, and you learn that appearances rarely tell you everything. The quiet Rottweiler watching from across the room may not be looking for trouble. He may simply be doing something this breed has been doing for generations. Observing, waiting, deciding what matters. And when nothing does, he may go right back to following his favorite person around the house. That doesn't mean you should approach an unfamiliar Rottweiler, or any unfamiliar dog, as though you already know what they're thinking. Always respect the individual dog, the owner, and the dog's body language. But it does mean we should be careful about deciding a dog's entire personality from its breed name alone, because understanding a Rottweiler requires holding two ideas at the same time. This can be a loving, intelligent, devoted companion, And this is also a powerful working breed that deserves serious, responsible ownership. You don't have to be afraid of that truth, and you shouldn't ignore it either. You should respect it, because maybe the Rottweiler was never meant to be the dog everyone immediately understands. Maybe that calm, watchful confidence is exactly what humans once needed from them. And once you understand where it comes from, the dog standing in front of you begins to look very different. If you enjoy discovering what dogs are really telling us through their behavior, history, and instincts, subscribe to Paws Cosmos. There's a lot more our dogs can teach us. Until next time, see you around the cosmos.